What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you a test hand combo video for the Dino profile I showed you all the other day. So what we're going to do with this video is we're going to show you on a randomized scale how consistent the deck can be in order to get into the brand new Saurus and set you up with that secret village lock if that is what you're going for, as well as showing you the basic line plays that dinos can do. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. With all of that out of the way, after a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, we're going to start with our test hand going first, beginning with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, usually you'd be like, holy crap, this is a brick. But all you need is access to these and you can just go absolutely ham. Yes, it sucks that we've hard opened up the poly, meaning that the search of the Kite Tote Terror is a little bit wasted, but you still have the ability of polying with this. So luckily we've opened up this, we're still in a good position. So you can put 3 bricks to one side, which is absolutely fine. We're now going to activate the Ground Xeno, pray and hope our opponent doesn't have Ash, but if they do, it is what it is. This will allow us to add a Dino Tuner from our deck to the hand, or a normal. We're going to be going for the Tuner, obviously, and we're going to be going for the Xeno Meteorus. You'll then continue to resolve the Ground Xeno by destroying the Baby Ceratosaurus in the hand. And in doing so, on a new chain, you can go chaining 1 Baby Ceratosaurus to summon from the deck and chaining 2 your Xeno Meteorus to summon itself down. In doing so, you'll then resolve the Baby, and Baby will then allow you to get into Soul Eating Oviraptor. In doing so, Soul Eating Oviraptor's effect will go off, and this will allow you to do one of 2 things. You can go directly for a Miscellaneous Saurus, or of course you can go for a Baby. Now, going for the Misc just gives you that ability to discard it from hand to give you that protection, and then you can banish itself and a Baby to get a Baby from the deck, but then you're going to go down a lock yourself into a Dino route by using Xeno Meteorus' effect. If you do go for a Baby instead, you can normal summon said Baby, and then you'd just be using the pop effect off the back of it as we do. So with these cards here, you're going to now normal summon down the Baby Ceratosaurus. You can use Oviraptor's effect to pop this Baby on the field to revive the Baby from the graveyard. And what this is going to do is just net you an additional monster on the board. Now, usually what you'd want is you'd probably want to be special summoning out the Terror. This would then search you out a poly, and then you would still have 2 more additional cards to be playing around with in your hand. But unfortunately, because we've opened it, you're going to go down a different route. So you're probably going to be going for something like your Miscellaneous, which is absolutely fine. So you're still in a very good position because if you want to, you haven't Dino locked yourself yet, you can definitely go Xeno plus your Misc, and that will then get you into a Baron, which gives you a bit of protection. If you want to hold on to the destruction effect of the Xeno, you can do later on to help you pop the Baby and then go off that little bit further. So there's loads of different ways of going here. You can make an XYZ rank 4 off the back of these. It really is entirely up to you. Now, because you've opened up UCT, in my opinion, it's not as important to go into a double evolution pill. Yes, it's still useful, but I feel that if there's a way to kind of mitigate that and not need to worry about it, you're still in a very good position. You can also make a link summon off the back of these, and in doing so, what I'd probably advise you go for is something like Cross Sheep, because then you'll be able to net a bit more advantage from your graveyard as you go into a poly. So I'll use that example here because what I want to try and show you with this video more times than not is how easy it is to get into this guy and go through your combo as normal. So if you use Misc and Oviraptor, because Baby is still going to be useful for you as a pop option, and you're going to go into Cross Sheep. You still obviously have the ability of Xeno Meteorus, do not worry, but the issue with this, and that's why it's a little bit tricky and you need to keep that in mind, is when you're trying to get into the Kite Terror play, you kind of don't want to Dino lock yourself, because if you go into Secret Village, you need to get a spellcaster on the board, otherwise it's completely null and void. So if you do this too early, you're not going to be able to complete that lock. So we're now going to activate Poly. Annoyingly, we opened up the kit, is what it is. Use Kit and Baby, go into your Horned Saurus. In doing so, you'll then be able to trigger the effect of Cross Sheep to bring a Dino back from the graveyard, and that's when you're going to bring back your Baby Ceratosaurus. Then what you can do here, because we hard open up the UCT, is you're going to banish the Kit, and you could banish a Oviraptor to summon down your UCT. In doing so, Kit's effect will now come back, and this will then allow you to add a poly from the graveyard back to your hand. So you've got the ability to go into a giant Zowler if you want to, which we can do very, very easily. It's now at this point, if you want to Dino lock yourself, it's not the end of the world. We still need to resolve the Horned Saurus effect on summon as well, which would have been very helpful. So your options here, because we've got that Baby on board, is you can actually go for a diagram, and then what you're doing is you're trying to push for a Lithosag and banish from your opponent's extra deck play. but just for the sake of the video to show you exactly how you get into the secret village play, that's what you'd go for. So I should have done that on summon, so it should have been Chainlink 1, Soraris, Chainlink 2, Cross Sheep, or Cross Sheep 1, Soraris 2, because this could technically be Ghost Spelled, and that would give you a bit more advantage. So I kind of skipped a step ahead. Now, as this currently stands, I cannot activate spell cards because I have only dinos. So I do now need to go into a Dart the Dart Charmer, which would specifically require you to use the Horned Soraris, which is absolutely fine because I can use Cross Sheep if I want to, or of course I can just use the kit plus the Horned Soraris. It just depends if I want another dino on the board to be able to be destroyed off of the back of a Xeno Meteorus as well. You also remember we still have Miscellaneous in the graveyard, which is going to come up very importantly shortly. So we'll use Cross Sheep plus your Horned Soraris. And this is going to get you into Dart the Dart Charmer. Straight away, you are now able to activate spells and your opponent is not, unless they control a spellcaster. Now, it's entirely up to you if you want to dino lock yourself right now. I'm not. I'm going to choose to go through Miscellaneous first. This will then allow me to banish itself in order to summon out an Archosaur. Archosaur's effect will now trigger. The best thing as well by getting the Cross Sheep into the graveyard is it means I've got a non-dino in the grave for Pill. So Archosaur will trigger, pop in the baby on the board, and this will allow you to search yourself out a double evolution pill. In doing so, you can now trigger baby's effect in the graveyard. This will then allow you to summon a dino from the deck that is level 4 or lower. Probably what I should have done is made this a Petite Pterodon a little bit earlier on, but it doesn't make any difference whatsoever because you can still very easily get into that route because you just go baby, summon out Petite Pterodon, and then it's up to you on how much further you want to take this before you dino lock yourself. And what I mean by that is, technically what I can do is I can use Archosaur plus the kit and go into IP. And then on top of that, I've also now got the ability for a Giant Zowler if I wanted to. Or of course I can go into, I suppose, I don't want Giant Zowler or Laws. I probably want Lars, to be honest. So we're going to use Xeno Meteorus. We're going to destroy the Petite Pterodon. By doing that, we're then able to special summon a Dino normal monster from the hand or deck, which is great. So we're going to summon out our Frostosaurus. We'll trigger off the Petite Pterodon's effect. This is going to allow us to get a Dino Wrestler Prankatops. And then just to kind of see the game off, not that you really need to be doing it this much, but we're going to anyway. We're going to go into a Lars. You've still got a double Evo pill for follow-up, and the reason I would actually hold this back or advise you to hold it back is for the pure fact that when I activate it during my opponent's turn, I've got the ability to banish the kit, and then the kit will come back. And I've also got the ability to activate a poly if I want to. So what we're ideally ending the board on right now is we're ending the board on Dart the Dart Charmer, meaning that our opponent cannot use spell cards. Great success. We've got IP Masquerena that can lead us into an SP Little Knight. If you didn't want to go into IP into SP, you could have just made this as an SP Little Knight anyway. We've got UCT that can pop a card, flip everything face down. We've got Dino Wrestler Prankatops that can pop a card. And then, of course, you've got your Lars, which can negate because you've got Dino as material. The best thing about UCT and the fact we've also got the follow-up of the Kit Terror in the graveyard is, yes, okay, you'd ideally want a baby to pop, but you could use UCT to pop the poly because then that's going to be in the graveyard for the kit to add back later on. Then you either use the effects of Lars and then use IP with Lars, or of course you can use the IP with UCT after you've used this effect already. And keep in mind that when you're making these plays, you're making these plays because your opponent has already been able to play through huge levels of interruption. So you go into SP Little Knight, this will then allow you to banish a card your opponent controls. If they activate another monster effect, you'd activate SP Little Knight to banish itself and said monster, or another monster. We'll use Dino Wrestler Prankatops to pop a card. We'll use Lars to negate cards. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just using up all of our resources on the board so you can show what's happening. So this is the exact moment in time. They've had to try and do all of that without using spells. If they put a card on the board that is a spellcaster, I'm going to flip it face down with, of course, UCT, or I'm going to pop it with Prankatops. You've got two ways to making sure they can't use their spells. Move to the end phase, SP Little Knight's going to come back. Whatever card you've decided to banish is going to come back for them. You're going to draw for turn. Not bad. And then you're going to activate double evolution pill. This will then allow you to banish two, so it doesn't really make much of a difference what you banish as long as you're banishing the Kaito Terror. So we're going to banish that, and we'll banish Frost just for the sake of it for now. This will then allow us to summon out UCT from the deck. Great. And then on top of that, the Kite will come back. Kite will then allow you to add back the poly. And you've still got everything else you could possibly imagine. Lars is still there, SP's still there, Dark's still there. If you're like, I don't want to use any of my spells anymore, you could then upgrade these into another extra deck monster of your choosing. If your opponent tried to summon twice from the extra deck, then of course you would have to rank up your UCT into a Typhoon, but I doubt they've been able to try and summon twice from the extra deck from the previous turn with the amount of interruption you're putting on. So this should ultimately lead you to OTK. The amount of times you stopped your opponent during their turn was pretty nutty. Yes, there were more ways to play a little bit defensively on that combo or like on that route of play. If you were worried about Nibiru, you'd play a little bit differently. But I feel Nibiru is only really going to come into effect games 2 and 3. So that's when you'd probably adapt your play style. I wouldn't really... If your opponent is maining it, so be it. It's just what it is. If they've opened it, cool, let's go. But yeah. So what we'll do now, because that one took like 10 minutes, is we'll do a test hand going second as well, so you can see the aggressive nature of it. Ultimately, it's just get UCT to the board and UCT go brrr. Obviously, there'll be a little bit more than that in it, but it's still incredibly powerful and really, really cool. Like I said, I still think it's between that and Chaos Max is like my favourite main deck boss monster. Like on its own and just destructive power. So, really cool. Anyway, shove it up, cut up, and draw 6. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's interesting. I mean, these 5 are not ideal. Like this is the one issue of a Secret Village. Like if I know I'm going second, I'm 100% siding this out. I have seen no use for keeping this in first. It is a brick if you open it up. Ground Zeno is still great, even though I've opened up 2 of them. And then what you're doing here is you're risking the OTK by activating Pot of Prosperity, but ultimately it's not the end of the world. So still activate Pot of Prosperity, you're digging those 6. So 1, that's not bad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I've got Ground Zeno, I'm definitely going for Baby. Hang on, that's not even 6. Is it 6? Yeah, it is 6. God, learn to count, boy. So we're going to choose the Baby. If they draw you, cry. Activate Ground Zeno. Add the Xeno Meteorus. Obviously, everything's going to be half damage this turn. Just a reminder for that. Go for the Xeno. Exact same combo here. Destroy the Baby. Xeno, chaining 1 Baby, chaining 2 Xeno. Baby, Overraptor, Overraptor, meet Baby. And the best thing about this is you're pretty much setting up your graveyard for dinos. So you can just hard summon a UCT and then just go flip, go. I suppose with Pot of Prosperity, this is also kind of a good option to just keep. Remember that you want to, like, yeah, it's probably one of the odd chances where this isn't that bad to have. Like, now if I clear my opponent's board off and then slap this down on them, they're in a bit of trouble, which would be pretty funny. Normal Summon Baby, Overraptor Baby, Baby Engrave, swap them. Baby Engrave that you've just destroyed, use the effect to summon. I suppose this is where it can get a little bit different as well, because we've already opened up the Archosaur. Did I need to normal summon that Baby? Maybe I didn't actually. I'm just thinking maybe what I should have done, because I already had it, is I go normal summon Archosaur instead. Archosaur's effect, pop the Baby, search me out uphill, and then also summon off the back of the Baby. There you go. That'd be a smart way of doing it. We'll go for, again, just because this whole idea is to show you how the new cards interact, we'll go for the Kit, or Kite. Kite will then trigger, I don't know why I keep calling it Kit. Kite will trigger, search me out, Polymerization. Cool Leo, still in a very good position. Do I want to poly now, or do I want to save it? Pill's still a great option. Poly can still be very, very useful because it'll give me an additional normal summon. Pop a Xeno. Suppose we go this way. Go into... This is why Cross Sheep's so important, because it will let you recycle a Baby from the graveyard, which is really kind of cool. I suppose the only issue I've done here is I haven't got another dino on the board, which is probably why I would want Misk. It's not that bad. I mean, there are ways to play this around. It's not the end of the world. Maybe we don't go. Maybe we don't go into Cross Sheep instead. Actually, I don't need to worry about Cross Sheep this early either, really. Let's go Poly first, fuse these two, go into Solaris. Solaris effect will then allow you to place a field spell. So, how greedy do we want to get? I mean, I could very easily go Lost World and try and pop that stuff. But let's go Diagram. Let's try and show you how the Diagram will now work. So we've got an additional normal off the back of the Solaris, but we're just going to go UCT. We'll put this here. We will banish Kit and Archosaur. Kit will then summon itself back. Add back the Poly. Very nice. Got the ability for a rank 4 if I want it. Got another pill that can help me trigger effects. Do I care if I Dino Lock myself now? Probably not. I don't think it's the end of the world. I kind of want to get a baby back from the graveyard. That's what I'm trying to do. So I suppose I would then need to go both of these together into Cross Sheep. Let's try and figure this one out. That pops that, gets into that. Have I got any non-dinos in the grave yet? No, no non-dinos in the grave yet. Think. I mean, maybe I'm overcomplicating it, trying to get another baby back on the board. Maybe like just keep this simple. Like I said, these aren't perfect. These are just to give you another option. So, I mean, this is already pretty damn good. So, but if we go Xeno, will get me a vanilla. Don't really want to pop the Solaris. I've still got another normal sign. I mean, it sucks that this is a brick. This is a brick. I can't do anything with this at this exact moment in time until I get that normal to the board to get me the Gigantozauer. Pill can still help me, but I need to clear some space off. I could go into a Baron, to be fair. Ooh, what is... I'm trying to remember Cross Sheep's effect. All monsters you control gain 700 attack. Do I want to do it that way? That would be slightly funny, not going to lie. So what I'm thinking is you would put... You need to keep that. You'd go into... No, okay. Overthinking it quite a bit. I mean, this is all overkill. It's overkill that I don't need to be doing. Just need to get a non-dino to the grave, which isn't that bad. Do I want to waste my diagram pop on something that is irrelevant? Pop a card, get me Lithosagum. Lithosagem's not that great. Maybe it would have been better to go for Fossil Dig. Not Fossil Dig. I mean, I don't even know like why I'm overdoing this. This is just all so much over, like, worrying about nothing. I mean, you can very easily go into Lagia, and then all you need to do is get a monster of a different attribute from the deck. So you'd go Xenometeorus, destroy the Dino. This would then allow you to summon out the Vanilla, which is this. Got the ability to activate Poly, to fuse these two. Go into Gigantozauer. So that goes to the graveyard. If it's special summon to get the target dino in the graveyard and add it to the hand, and then if it was special from the graveyard to get to destroy 2 cards, one from the hand, one from the field. If this card is destroyed, you can shuffle a normal monster from the graveyard into the deck and then get to special on this card. So you'd go UCT. It could destroy the baby if I wanted to, but I can destroy this. Is it hard once per turn? You can only use each effect once per turn, which is fine. So if this card is special and target dino, you go add it to the hand. Then if this card was special summon from the graveyard, you can destroy 2 cards, one on the field, one on the... If this card is destroyed, you get to shuffle a normal in the graveyard and then special summon it. So you'd basically just destroy this, shuffle back the vanilla. This would then trigger, summon itself back. You'd then destroy 2 cards, one on the hand and one on the field. So you destroy the baby and then one on the field. Baby's effect will trigger. This will then give us another baby. So we'll go for Petite Pterodon. We'd activate Diagram, pop the Petite. This can then give us Lithosagum, as well as giving us another dino on the board. So we'll go for Misk. Then activate Pill. I still not put another non-dino. I still haven't put another dino in the graveyard. Damn it! Either way, like I said, I'm just going overboard on this. I don't need to be going as hard on this as I am. I mean, at the very least, just to guarantee that everything's flipped face down, link these two together. I'll go into Pentastag. Pentastag can now give UCT piercing, which is quite funny. Mist can then banish itself. Oh, I could have popped the Gigantozauer. That would have been funny. Mist can banish itself plus Hornsaurus, just because it's funny and it can. Go for another baby. I could go for Oviraptor, but we'll just go for another baby. Actually, I've got 7. I tell you what, I've got 7 in the grave. This would be funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7, so I'm just going to do this for its and gigs. Bring out Prankatops. Still don't have a non-dino in the graveyard, which is shocking to me. If your Link monster attacks your defense, you can flip piercing bad damage. I kind of want to keep Pentagon on the board. Like, I'm trying so hard to get the Litho on the board, and I don't even need to. I'm just confusing the combos and everything else. Like, everything's been Book of Moon. This is doing piercing. This is 24, and this is 26, and then can pop any card that gives me an issue. I've still got a pill as a follow-up, as long as I get a non-dino to the graveyard. I mean, I could also banish the Litho. Actually, I think I've got another one in the graveyard. I have got another dino. Boom, there you go. Double pill, banish that, banish Litho. Summon down. Second UCT. Guaranteed game. Yeah, I mean, that last test time was a bit of a mess. I'm not going to lie. I kept trying to overthink things because I was trying to put it into a different perspective. But it just kind of shows you the different routes that you have. Even when I opened up some of the one-off bricks that you don't want to see, some of the garnets, you're still able to play. So it is a really, really fun deck. I love how Dino's still operating right now. And because because Dinos are a type, it's very difficult to destroy the deck completely. And it's always a deck that will constantly keep getting support in the future. So it's definitely one to be keeping an eye out on. And it's definitely a deck that if you can pick up cheap enough, you're better off getting everything else apart from the Ground Xenos at this exact moment in time. Because when the Ground Xenos do drop, you'll then be like, okay, now Ground Xenos have been reprinted, now they're cheaper, I can get it, while everything else might not have been printed, might be a little bit harder to get hold of. Anyway, hope this has given you a bit of an insight into how the deck can operate, what different options you can go down, and the chaos that it can cause if you kind of try to make it too complicated. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.